Good morning, dear students. Today is your class topic, that is the life process. In the previous class, we have discussed in the life process the topic nutrition, and in that nutrition, I have discussed with you that is the what are the different type of the nutrition process in the organism. In that nutrition type, we have discussed that there are the two type of the nutrition mainly, that is the autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. In the autotrophic nutrition, we have discussed that all the green plants undergoes the autotrophic nutrition. Means autotrophic nutrition or those nutrition in which the green plants synthesize their own food material, whereas the heterotrophic nutrition, in the heterotrophic nutrition, the animals that are unable to synthesize their own food material, and for the food material, to derive their food material, they depend on the another organism, either the plants or another animals. In that sequence, I have discussed with you that is what is the photosynthesis process and how does the photosynthesis are involved in the synthesis of the food material in the green plants. In the previous class, I have discussed you there are the three steps that are involved in the photosynthesis. The first step, to trap the solar energy and convert them into the chemical energy. Second step was that there is the photolysis, that means there is the breakdown of the water molecule into the hydrogen ion and the oxygen. And third thing, there is the conversion of the carbon dioxide molecule into the carbohydrate. That it means this carbon dioxide reduced into the carbohydrates. And after the photosynthesis process, there is the carbohydrates are synthesized, as well as in that sequence there is the oxygen is also released into the atmosphere, and these oxygen helpful for us for the process of the respiration. This oxygen also helpful for the plant for the respiration process. Today I will discuss about the nutrition in the animals. How does animals derive their nutrients, and what are the different steps by which the nutrition process takes place. A complete nutrition process takes place in the animals. So in case of the animals, first of all, the animals are unable to synthesize. I have told you animals are unable to synthesize their own food material. Means to derive their food material, they depend on the another organism like the plants or another animals. Means there is the animals. In that animals, I am taking two examples. One is the goat, another is the lion. Both are the animals, and both unable to synthesize their own food material. Another, we take the example, human beings. So in that, these animals, they don't derive their food material from the another organism, another thing, that is the plants, green plants. By the way of the grazing, they eat the green plants, and after they eating the green plants, they obtain their food material. There is the lion obtain their food material not from the green plants. They derive their food material from the other organism like the goat, by eating the goat, which they depend on the fleshes of the animal, meat of the animals. And such type of the organisms, such type of heterotrophic organisms are known as the carnivores. Means carnivores are those animals that derive their food material in the form of the fleshes or meat from the another organism that depend on the another organism, another animals. There is the human beings. These human beings can eat the green, that is the vegetables. As well as most of the human beings are there are the non-vegetarian, means they eat the fleshes, means there is the meat or the fish. So they are the omnivores. Such type of beings, these human beings are considered as the omnivores. Overall, we say that in all that there is the nutrition pattern. So in that there is the nutrition takes place, and such type of nutrition is known as the heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic. Heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic means there is the two words. Heterotrophic. Hetero means different. Tropic means food material. Means heterotrophic nutrition means the organism they derive their food material from the other organism, different organism, not from the green plants. They derive from the different. They dependent on the another one for their food material. Such type of the organisms are known as the heterotrophic organisms. In that heterotrophic organisms, some are the considered as the saprophytes. Saprophytes. As I discussed that there is the carnivores, omnivores. So similarly there is the saprophytes. Saprophytes are those organisms that derive their food materials from dead and decayed organic matters. Such type of organisms are known as the saprophytes. The best example is the bread mold, rhizopus, mushroom. These are also the saprophytes. So there is the heterotrophic. Now I will discuss about in the heterotrophic nutrition how the nutrition process involved. So in the heterotrophic nutrition, the nutrition takes place, and such nutrition is known as the holozoic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic organism. In heterotrophic organism, nutrition takes place, and that nutrition is known as the holozoic nutrition. Holozoic nutrition. Holozoic nutrition. These holozoic nutrition complete in the 5 steps. First step is known as the ingestion. Ingestion. Second step is known as the digestion. Third one is known as the absorption. Fourth one is known as the assimilation. And fifth one, that is the last one, that is known as the elimination. 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 These are the 5 steps, and with the help of these 5 steps involved in the holozoic nutrition, means this holozoic nutrition complete in the 5 steps that is known as the ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and the elimination. During this holozoic nutrition, there is a first step is the ingestion process, and the meaning of the ingestion means to intake of the food material. What is the ingestion? So ingestion is the to intake of food material. That is the ingestion. After the ingestion, what happened in the animals? So just go through the examples of the human beings. So during the process of the nutrition in the human beings, there is the first step of the ingestion, means we take the intake of the food material. And after the intake of the food material, so there is the what happened? So when there is the intake of the food material, so after that there is the digestion process takes place. There is the digestion of the food material. So what is the digestion? So digestion means digestion is the process by which there is the breakdown of the large food molecule into the simplest form. To break down of the large food molecule, macromolecules into the micromolecules, so that their absorption can be take place. Large food molecule cannot as such absorb. So for their absorption, the large molecule or macromolecule must be broken down into their simpler form, and that simplest form can be digested with the help of the digestive enzyme, and after the digestion of the food material, that digested food material are absorbed by the cells. So during the digestion process, first of all there is the breakdown of the macromolecule, breakdown of macromolecules. Macro means large. Macromolecules into simplest form. Its simplest form or their simplest form into their simplest form. Simplest form. And these simplest form are digested with the help of the digestive enzyme. The digestive enzyme will act on this simplest form so that their digestion can be taken place. So what happened after the digestion? So what happened? So after the digestion of the food material with the digestive enzyme, that food material must be absorbed by the cells of the body. Different part of the cells, different part of the body, different type of the cells of the different part of the body. So for the absorption of the food material, the digested food material are transported with the help of the blood to the different cells, and in the different cells these food material, these digested food materials are absorbed. Means there is the absorption. So what happened after the absorption? What is the need to take the food material? So need to take the food material to get the energy. So after the absorption of the food material into the cells, that food materials are utilized to produce the energy. And to produce the energy, the utilization of the food material inside the cells, that process is known as the assimilation. Assimilation means after the absorption of the food material, the absorbed food material are transferred to the different cells to the different part of the body, and when this inside the cells, the food materials are diffused from the blood to the cells, so that food materials are utilized to produce the energy. Means utilization of the food material to produce the energy, that process is known as the assimilation. In the last, there is the last point that is known as the elimination, or that is known as also known as the egestion. The last one is known as the egestion. Elimination or egestion. So we know that during the process of the nutrition there is the intake of the food material. After the intake of the food material, some of the digested, but some of the food material remain undigested. And that undigested food material must be eliminated. Means there is the removal of the undigested food material from the body parts, from the body. That process is known as the egestion. Means there is the last one is the egestion. Egestion refers to the removal of the undigested food material. So these are the 5 steps. And with the help of the 5 steps, there is the holozoic nutrition takes place, and in the animal there are the holozoic nutrition takes place. The first step is the ingestion process, that means there is the intake of the food material. Second is the digestion process. So in the digestion process, the intake food material is broken down into their simplest form so that their digestion can be takes place with the help of the digestive enzymes. After that there is the absorption. So after the digestion process, the food material, digested food material are absorbed into the blood cells, and from the blood cells these are absorbed by the different cells of the body. When the digested food material reach to the different part of the body cells, so in that body cells there is the metabolism, there is the respiration process takes place. And by the help of the respiration process, the food material are broken down in the presence of the oxygen. As a result, there is the energy is released. And when the energy is released, that means that process is known as the assimilation process. And after the assimilation, there is the last process, that is the egestion process. Means during the process of the digestion, all the food material cannot digest. Some of the undigested food material remain as such, and that undigested food material are removed from the body. That process is known as the egestion process. That is the holozoic nutrition. So in the holozoic nutrition, I will discuss here the 2 examples. One is the unicellular unicellular organism, another one is the multicellular organism. Holozoic nutrition in the unicellular organism and holozoic nutrition in the multicellular organism. So first of all, holozoic nutrition in the unicellular organism. Holozoic nutrition in holozoic nutrition in unicellular organism. Unicellular organism. So now there is the term unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular, you know that uni means one. After there is a single. Means a single cell we have as animals, such as known as the unicellular organism. What are the unicellular organism? Unicellular organism, there is a single cell, and that single cell we have at a complete animal, that is known as the unicellular organism. And there is the most common example, that is the amoeba. Unicellular example, amoeba. So now I will discuss here the holozoic nutrition in the amoeba. How the holozoic nutrition perform in the amoeba? So amoeba is the unicellular organism, and these unicellular organisms do not have any definite shape. They have the irregular structure in their bodies, irregular body structure. They do not have the definite shape. So how does the nutrition will be performed in that amoeba? Like this amoeba. This one is the amoeba. There is no definite shape. They change their shape due to the protoplasmic movement. In that there is the protoplasm present, and due to the protoplasmic movement, their body shape will be the change. That's why in that there is the no definite shape. So during the process of the holozoic nutrition, when any food particle come in contact with the outer surface of the amoeba, if any food particle come in contact with the outer surface of amoeba, that is the food particle. Food particle. So what is? So in that they have ability to capture the food particle, and for their capture the food particle, they form the pseudopodia. A structure, they will form a structure that is known as the pseudopodia. Means I will draw half the structure of this. Like this. Suppose this one is the amoeba. So they will form the pseudopodia. This one is the pseudopodia. Pseudopodia. Pseudo means false, podia, podus means arms, appendices. False appendices. To capture the food material. And these pseudopodia will form due to the protoplasmic movement. Inside their body, the protoplasm will flow, and due to the flow of the protoplasm, there is the false appendages, that is the pseudopodia will form. And these pseudopodia help to capture the food particles. When these food particles are captured with the pseudopodia, these food particles are engulfed by the amoeba, and that process is known as the phagocytosis. That process is known as the phagocytosis. Phagocytosis means to engulf the solid food material. There are the two processes, phagocytosis and the pinocytosis. For the solid food material, there is the phagocytosis, and for the fluid material, for the liquid substances, there is the pinocytosis. So in that there is the food material, these are the solid food material, means these are engulfed by the amoeba by the process of the phagocytosis. Means in the next stage, the food material comes inside the amoeba. And these are surrounded with the membrane inside the vessels, and these vessels have the digestive enzymes, and these digestive enzymes help in the digestion of that food material. So in that step there is the digestion takes place. The food material are digested, and after the digestion the food material are absorbed inside the cells, and after the absorption some undigested food material remain, and these undigested food material are expelled out from the body. That process is known as the egestion. These are expelled out from the body. These are removed from the body. Means the undigested food material are removed from the body. Means from this, these are utilized, and after the utilization, the undigested food material are expelled out from the body. These are the undigested food materials. Means there is the digestion. This one is the digestion and assimilation. In that process there is the digestion, and after the digestion there is the utilization of the food material, and after the utilization the energy are produced. That means there is the assimilation process, and after the assimilation there is the undigested food material remains, and that undigested food material are removed from the body. That is known as the egestion. So in that state there is a digestion, absorption and assimilation in that state. So these are the states that involved in the unicellular organism holozoic nutrition. Means there is the ingestion process. After the ingestion there is the digestion process. After the digestion there is the digestion will take place. Digestive enzyme, with the help of the digestive enzyme the food material will be digested. After the digestion these food material are absorbed by these cells, and after the digestion of the food material these food material are utilized to produce the energy. But there are some of the food material remain undigested, and these undigested food material are removed from the body. Again, that process is known as the digestion process. So that is the steps involved in the holozoic nutrition, and I have discussed with you in the amoeba, holozoic nutrition in the amoeba. So for the today class I have discussed the holozoic nutrition in the amoeba, and in the next class I will discuss the holozoic nutrition in the multicellular organism, and in that multicellular organism I will discuss the nutrition or digestion process in reference to the human beings. Means in the human beings what is the different process, and how does there is the digestion, and how does there is the absorption of the food material, and there is the assimilation and the digestion of the food material. So today is the holozoic nutrition in the amoeba. Homework for the today: to draw the holozoic nutrition, in amoeba. That is your homework. To draw the holozoic nutrition in amoeba, you have to write the steps involved in the holozoic nutrition, and you have to draw the diagram of the holozoic nutrition. In your board examination, the question will be asked. There is many of the type the question are asked from this topic. Okay, what are the different type of the nutrition? In the multiple choice question, there may be the sequence will be given for the holozoic nutrition: ingestion, absorption, ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and digestion. This sequence can be changed in your examination, and in such a way their multiple choice question will be asked. So just remember the pattern, remember the sequence, what are the different sequence in the holozoic nutrition. In your examination the question will be asked like which type of the nutrition will take place in the amoeba. So there will be the holozoic nutrition, so you have to select the option holozoic nutrition. You have to learn about the saprophytic examples in your examinations. Multiple choice questions, some of the question will ask from the saprophytic organism, an example from the saprophytes. So just learn the topic nutrition in the plants and nutrition in the amoeba, that is the unicellular organism. And in the next class I will discuss about the nutrition in the human beings. Thank you.